Being rejected by over 100 investors and venture capitalists is not easy. Honestly, many people give up. Receiving that number of no's can make you begin to doubt the idea and even give up altogether. But not Melanie Perkins. Today, 13 years later, with over 265 million monthly users, available in 100 languages, in nearly 190 countries around the world, and being valuated at over 40 billion US dollars. What started as a simple mission to make design accessible to all has now become a global design empire. This is the story of Canva. Before 2013, if you wanted a professional design, you had two options. One, hire a professional designer and pay through your notes with the hope that they would bring your idea to life. Or you sit down and learn design tools for weeks. And with the complex steps and everything, you might end up not even being able to design what you wanted to design. Both options were not very favorable to many people. And while many people were frustrated by the whole process, a young lady in Australia had already noticed this problem also. In 2007, Melanie Perkins was a student at university in Australia, and she used to teach design to other students. What she noticed was that the design tools available then were frustrating to use because of the complex steps and menus you have to click to create a design. And she thought to herself, isn't there easier way to create these designs without having to go through all these complex processes and steps that one has to go through? She began the process of figuring things out. She teamed up with her then boyfriend, Cliff Obrecht, and together they built Fusion Books. Fusion Books was an online platform that allowed students and teachers alike to create yearbooks by themselves. The startup grew and became Australia's largest yearbook provider. This gave them initial success, and they even expanded to countries like France and New Zealand. And with that amount of success, they thought to themselves, why don't we make design accessible to all? And that was how Canva was conceived. While working on Canva at the initial stages, they pitched Canva to investor upon investor, and they kept receiving rejections. It moved from 10 no's to 20 no's and to 50 no's and to over 100 rejections from investors and venture capitalists. Along the line, they had met Cameron Adams, who was an ex-Google engineer. And initially, he joined the team as an advisor to the founders, but later on, he also came on board as a co-founder. And with his technical expertise and also credibility, it boosted investor confidence. Then they met Bill Tai, and he believed in the vision of Canva. And soon after, Blackbird Ventures invested in Canva, came on board. This gave Canva their first investment of 3 million US dollars. Now, armed with funding and excitement for growth, they began the process for Canva launch. And in August 2013, Canva was officially launched with a waiting list of 50,000 users. These users are also using online testing platforms. They were able to beta test and also create a product market fit for users. Canva grew fast. It grew faster. By 2015, users on Canva had already generated over 50 million designs. They also introduced Canva for Work, now known as Canva Pro. It's a paid version of Canva that allows users to have access to premium features, templates, and assets and more for a fee every month. And the startup was valuated at over 160 million US dollars. The team kept working on Canva, on the platform, improving it, and by 2017, Canva achieved a milestone that many startups will never get to achieve. They became profitable. Given that about 90% of startups fail, this was a huge milestone, right? Anybody will be excited. Their number of employees also grew to about 50 people. Then they also introduced Canva Android app to expand their user base. Then a year later, Canva achieved another milestone again that many startups will never get to achieve. They became unicorn. Unicorn is a tech term that is used for private companies that have attained a valuation of over 1 billion US dollars. And they went for another round of funding of 40 million US dollars. With that, they were able to also acquire Zteens, a presentation startup. With that, the number of designs on the platform that users had generated grew to over 1 billion designs. Then Canva kept building and improving. They kept building and improving. In 2019, the world changed. Global pandemic hit, and many people even lost their lives. And this forced organizations, students, and creators and schools. The pandemic pushed businesses, schools, and creators online, causing the demand for simple-to-use design tools to explode. With now a demand for a simple design tool, Canva was positioned just right to grow. Canva was positioned just right for growth. So the number of users on Canva shot because now many people are online and they are working online and they need design tools to present their work, make presentations and present their ideas effectively. That gave Canva an upper hand for growth. By 2021, Canva had over 75 million monthly users on board every month. And the company raised another funding worth 200 million US dollars. And this peaked the valuation of the company at over 40 billion US dollars, a whooping 40 billion US dollars. You can imagine, that's a tremendous growth. And fast forward, we entered the AI era. When the AI era hit, AI transformed the world, where many industries were disrupted by AI. Canva didn't resist the transformation. They embraced it and they introduced magic tools. This allows users to create images, videos, contents, and more. This also increased the number of users again on Canva platform because they are embracing new technologies and new things that are AI and also AI invention. They are embracing it. So introducing AI into Canva made designs much easier than even before, and even gave more options to our designers as well. Today, Canva is having over 260 million monthly users. It's available in 100 languages and in nearly 190 countries around the world. And about 95% of Fortune 500 companies use Canva. The number of employees have also grown tremendously to over 5,500 Canva nights. So far, users on Canva has generated over 30 billion designs. All this information, how does Canva actually make money? So Canva makes money in this number of ways. One, Canva makes money through the Canva Pro and Canva Enterprise subscription. This allows freelancers and organizations to use their premium access, templates, and designs and pay a monthly fee for them. Two, Canva also makes money through the Canva print. Canva has partnered with global printing companies that allows users to make the professional designs and have them printed and deliver to them. Like you can print your business cards, you can t-shirts, mugs, and all those stuff. You can print them and have them delivered to you. Thirdly, Canva makes money through the pay-as-you-go version. The pay-as-you-go option allows users to be able to create designs, use premium features, and pay for them just as they are. Just pay for them once. You don't have to go through the subscription version. Another way Canva makes money is through the Canva Creator Program. This allows designers to upload their designs. When a user uses them and pays for them, the designer also gets what? Canva keeps a portion and pays the designer a royalty. How did Canva manage to build such? How did the team manage to build one of the biggest company in last 20 years? When the team started, they had a two-step philosophy they followed. One, to build one of the world's most valuable companies. And have Canva achieved that? Yes. And two, to do the most good they possibly can. Canva gives about 30% of their wealth to charitable causes. And they do this through the Canva Foundation and Canva for non-profits and other ways. So has Canva achieved this two-step philosophy so far? To me, if you ask me, I'll say yes, they have. Building a multi-billion-dollar company in just 13 years is a massive, massive success. And I give them their flowers for that. So what are some of the lessons that I have personally learned from Canva story? So here are some lessons I've learned, and hopefully you may find one or two lessons as well that you can take from them. One, the number one lesson I've learned is that solve real problem. Solve real problem. If we look at Canva's story, Canva saw a gap between design tools and the users, and they saw that there is no inclusion. So Canva came at an angle of inclusion instead of disruption. If you look into the tech world, tech is almost always about disruption. The new software that is coming out is disrupting in another industry, is disrupting here, is disrupting that. But Canva didn't look at disruption, they looked at inclusion. How could we make all people designers around the world? So that's one of the things that lesson I've learned. Instead of what, look for a problem that people are facing and then solve it the best way possible, and people will be willing to pay for it. Number two, facing rejection is not the end. Rejection is not the end. If you look at Canva's story, they have faced many rejections from investors and venture capitalists, over 100. That is a lot. I bet you many people cannot receive that number of rejection and still continue. Number three, start small but think globally. Looking at their story, they started first with Fusion Books. It was just a simple platform that allowed them people to create yearbooks. But then they thought and about it globally. How can we make design accessible to all? And lastly, embrace change. When the world entered the AI era, Canva didn't resist that change, but rather they embraced that transformation by incorporating AI tools into Canva to make people create the designs using AI. So these are some of the lessons I've learned from Canva story. Hopefully you too pick one or two lessons from the story as well. Today, Canva has given opportunity to everyone to become a designer. Whether you are a teacher, you are a student, entrepreneur, or an organization. Let me ask a question, and I will be expecting your response in the comment section below. If you were one of those investors that rejected Canva at the initial stages, is this something that today you would have regretted not investing in Canva? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. By the way, I'm Josephine. I am on a journey of discovering, learning, and understanding how businesses and startups are built, and telling one story at a time. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section below.